Owen, I knew from when he was born that there was something just was not right with him. We had an appointment with a paediatrician consultant who asked me, did I know or have any understanding what was wrong with Owen, and I had seen Rainmaw and explained to her that I thought he might be autistic in some way, and she said that it did look like that he was autistic and that he would have learning difficulties. My idea of autism was that Owen would be some kind of magical artist or very good at mathematics, and that I would help him along with this. And it was actually further from the truth. You know, Owen's autism manifested in a lot of behavioural issues. At the age of 7, I actually went through a divorce and was given custody of Owen. I was really thinking of giving up on him and placing him in residential care. He was still in nappies, was very self-harming, would have been very destructive in the house, and my life was basically hell. There's actually, I think, been a couple of lows. One of them was just when I got the chance to learn ABA. It was a real lifesaver for both of us. I can remember Owen had soiled the front room here in the house, and I came out to get a bucket of water to clean it, and went in, and he had left that room, and I cleaned it and came back out to empty the bucket of water, and he soiled it again. And I can remember getting down on my knees and firstly bursting out crying and just saying, I can't go on like this. Basically, to put it, you know, if you want to explain it, I really thought, if I don't put this wee boy in residential care, I'll end up putting him through a wall. You know, I could not go on living like this. Basically, I received a letter through the door one day. I think there had been an article in the Belfast Telegraph about Dr. Mickey Keenan at the University of Ulster. Had been working with a child with Asperger's, I think it was, and that he was bringing Dr. Bobby Newman over from America to do a crash course in applied behaviour analysis, ABA, and I went on that course and brought Owen up along with all the rest of the families who were on the course on the last Saturday of the course to meet Bobby. And it was the first bit of light that came into my life, you know, from a mess, and it was always confrontations this way on, and I did play a big part in them. You know, I might have been shouting at him, and you know, it's very hard when a child's smearing a room continuously with the contents of his nappies not to lose your temper, you know. But this was the first time I started realising why Owen did display them behaviours. Some of them I had inadvertently built into him. Nobody had ever taught me any different. So it was the first time that at the age of 7 going on 8, that somebody had given me a chance to learn about Owen's behaviours. And also mine, I may add. You know, I think that it's a two-way thing. It's not only for the child in the house, it's for the parent too. You know, it was a fantastic thing, you know, that for years I was oblivious to this kind of stuff, that here was something that wasn't rocket science, even though it is a science. All the children's programs are individualised because every child's different. I didn't want to be wasting basically time going after one's academic side. I wanted to be going on strictly after his behaviour, because that's where I was living the nightmare with a child. I couldn't go shopping with him, I couldn't bring him to the hairdressers. Basically, I had no life outside the house. So I wanted to address that. That was my main one, to understand Owen's behaviours and how to work with them and teach Owen more appropriate behaviours. I know Owen will not always be with me, so what I was trying to do was give Owen more independence. You know, that if he does go into some kind of residential setting, at least he'll have that bit more independence and understanding. The other one was communication. To try and find a way of Owen communicating back to us what his needs were, because a lot of this, after I'd learned the ABA, were his triggers. You know, he was either communicating he didn't want to do something, or it could have been that he was trying to communicate that he did want to do something. So yeah, the ABA in a way answered every one of those. When I started learning ABA, we went off, I was going after one's compliance, and he threw tantrums and he was self-injury and directness towards me. Actually, friends of mine used to think I'd been through a car windscreen because I had so many nip marks on my face and my shirts were always ripped and different things. And I basically was taught, to try and work these behaviours where I had been maybe given into one in the past and shaping them up. And you could see the duration of the behaviours coming down, the self-injury behaviours coming down, the behaviours directed towards me and towards the house. And he gave me a big hug, and that was the first time I ever got a hug from him. So that put me on a high. I have a real fantastic bond with Owen now. I never thought that would ever be achievable. I had to learn that when Owen was maybe biting himself, that when I tried to stop him, he bit himself more, so I was actually playing into that. I was learning through the ABA basically what maintains these behaviours, and a lot of it was my reaction, so I've went from that to a wee boy I do enjoy having about. The ABA has made me a better parent.